Hi everyone, it's Christy from Green Eyed Tarot. Today I'm here to film just a quick walkthrough of the Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot, which is by Grounded by the Moon. This was a Kickstarter that I backed, and it was a really successful and very positive Kickstarter, I must say. The creator was very communicative throughout the entire process. It was a really great price point, and he included some really amazing bonuses and extras, which I'm going to show you, as well as the deck. So it was just an all-around great experience. This creator does have a Practical Magic Oracle. I do not have that one just because I don't use Oracle that much, but when I did see this one announced, because I do follow the creator on Instagram, so I'll link everything below in the description box. But when I saw this one announced, I definitely thought this one really speaks to me, which was interesting because I don't really use like limited color palette, sort of minimalistic decks, and also decks that are a little bit more pippish. But I thought if there was going to be one, it was definitely this one because it's super witchy, which is right up my alley and kind of in line with my aesthetic. I love the Practical Magic film and the book, as many of us do. So this definitely spoke to me. But yeah, it was a great experience, and I can't wait to kind of walk you through and show you this deck because it's really unique and really special, I think. So before I get to opening the deck and the box, I just thought I would share some of the extras that were included, which I thought, were really nice. So there's this Inner Witch spreads, which were created and contributed by Meg Watson of Tarot Nerds, which is also an Instagram account. So I will definitely link all this below. But I thought it was great that they collaborated with another Instagram tarot, kind of account and person to come up with these extra spreads. So in addition to spreads that are already included with the deck, these are some other ones, which I thought were really fun. The Midnight Margaritas one looks especially fun. The Troublesome X, which I like, which is sort of a throwback, to the film. But yeah, Death Watch Beetle, Witch's House, Garden Gate. So these are all really inspired by practical magic, but I feel like will be really, useful in a tarot practice. So I'm really excited to kind of dig into these. One of the other things that came with it was this postcard that has, it says Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot Challenge. So this has some recipes on it: lavender for luck, hot chocolate, and rosemary by your garden gate, which are two different recipes, which I thought was really nice to include as well. These were contributed by Tarot Adventures with Jules. And then here is a Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot Challenge. It's a 30-day challenge designed to be completed at your own pace. So it was designed to enhance your connection to the deck while embracing your inner witch and unlocking the magic that lies within. So I really look forward to diving into this as well. But I thought that's so nice that that was included as well. In addition to those really nice goodies, it came with this really nice velvet bag that has the symbols for all of the elements. And it's just a really nice velvet bag. And on the back, it does say Grounded by the Moon. It has the moon phases, some tarot cards. It's really nice. It's a really nice quality velvet bag. In addition to that, one of the stretch goals was this really, really nice card holder. It's a wooden tarot card or oracle card holder. It says, as above, so below, as within the universe, so without the soul. And it's like hands coming together. Again, some of the elemental symbols. And on the back, it does say Grounded by the Moon. Again, it has the same sort of logo on it from the bag. But this is a card holder, really nice and sturdy wood card holder. Really nice addition as an extra and a stretch goal for this Kickstarter campaign. So now the main event, which obviously is the deck. It also did come with some postcard size prints. I think I got 3 of them. That was another extra. So many extras included with this deck. It was so nice. Just a really, like I said, a really positive experience. And the deck is gorgeous. So here is the box. It's a very sturdy flip magnetic box, as you can see. It's really beautiful, really, really nicely produced. It's matte, but it has all of these foil accents on it. It says first edition. As you can see, it has the moon and the 2 brooms. Just really, Really beautiful, really witchy. Yeah, it's really nice. So the back says, a simplistic take on tarot based off Rider-Waite-Smith, designed for all witches. Work with the elements, connect to the cards, unlock your magic. So yeah, so very simplistic, like I was saying, very minimalistic deck, but it's done in a way that really spoke to me. I'm not usually drawn to decks like that. So as you can see, when you open it, it's got this gorgeous unlock your magic. It has, again, the elemental symbols. There's a rose, a sort of like an offering bowl. There's a crow or a raven and a candle. Just really gorgeous. Like I said, gorgeously produced deck. Everything is matte, so everything in here is really matte. Here's the guidebook. I'll move the box for a moment and just kind of show you the guidebook. It's really beautiful. It's got this matte black edging on the book. The cover's matte. Really nice. Really, really, like I said, nicely produced deck. Because this deck is kind of minimalistic, the symbolism in it is going to be pretty important in terms of getting to know it and being able to read with it. So the deck includes, obviously, the card images. So they are color, but they're really small images, but they're color images. And the font is a little bit small. It's on black, so it's a little easier to see. But if you're like me and have aging eyes, you may need some reading glasses, which at my stage of life I do, unfortunately, while I'm trying to read, especially print that's this small. So something to take into consideration. The font is pretty small, not a big huge deal, but for some of us, like I said, with that eyesight, it could be, a little bit of a problem, but not too bad. I love this book because it does have tarot and the zodiac. So each card description does include the zodiac sign that each card is related to. So that is included with the description of the cards. But you have this section on numerology, tarot and the zodiac, crystal suggestions, which I love. I love me some crystals, so that's amazing. And then, of course, like how to take care of your deck. And then there's no spreads in here because there are spread cards included. And then again, like I said, that even additional leaflet that I showed you with the spread. So there's actually no spreads in the guidebook, but that's because they're included on extra cards. So let's get right to the deck. So inside the box as well, there's like this beautiful message: work with the elements, connect to the cards, unlock your magic, with this rose. So it's a really, really well produced box. Okay, so here is the deck. It's, like I said, nice and matte, a matte finish. The backs are pretty simple as well, just the element symbols. They are gold. It is gold gilded. I probably would have preferred that black matte gilding, but again, not a big deal. And then they include a lot of spreads. So this is the Witch's Garden, Witch's Daily Magic and Connection, Witch's Brew, which I love, Witch's Magical Check-In, Reconnecting to My Magic and Craft, which I absolutely love this. I will definitely be using this spread. And then we have an info card. So this is just kind of talking about the different suits and the elements they're connected to, and also the symbols, like points up makes the shape of an A. It's kind of neat because if you are a beginner witch or anyone who's looking to work with the elements and don't really know the symbols, it gives an explanation of like what the symbol is and sort of what it represents, so it's easier to remember. And then there are renamed court cards. So the pages are initiate, the knights are apprentice, the queens are teacher, and the kings are sovereign. So they are renamed in this deck. And then we have just a little thank you from the creator as a card as well. So this deck, in addition to the spread cards, it does come with some extra bonus cards as well. So there are Sabbath cards that correspond to the 8 Sabbath. So there should be 8 Sabbath cards in the deck. So they all pretty much look like this, but they have this Wheel of the Year on it. If you can see that, that sort of ticks, and it shows you where in the Wheel of the Year we are. So this is Yule. And so obviously the little shelf with the candles is sort of decorated as it might be for Yule. So there's a card representing all of the Sabbats. So here we have Imbolc. So these are really pretty, really awesome for altar cards. I mean, definitely see myself sticking these in this little wood holder. Like Imbolc, we just passed. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right there in that card holder. But yeah, I definitely see using these on my altar with that card holder. Here we have Ostara. We have Beltana. Here's Litha. So that. Here's Lemmus. Mabon with the sunflowers. Love that. Samhain, of course. Okay, so those are the Sabbat cards. So like I said, these are wonderful for using on your altar to meditate on. They're very simple, but I love that those are an extra. And then, of course, we have a new moon card as well and a full moon card. So we also get these new and full moon. Again, can place that in that little holder. If you have another card holder, if you just want to put it, you know, if you're doing a tarot spread, like we just passed the new moon, if you're doing like a new moon or a full moon tarot spread, it might be great to have these out. I just love them that they give those extra cards. I think it's fabulous. It's just a fabulous addition. So I definitely think I like this deck and the minimalism because it's black. If it was white, I don't know that I would have been drawn to it as much. I don't know. I think something about the black and then just this one image in the middle is kind of cool. And I do like it. So here we have the Fool and it's just that white rose. So like I said, it is, it's going to feature just pretty simple symbols, but the guidebook does talk about what the symbol means. So if you're new to tarot, if you're just started reading, you know, if it's, you know, if you're used to sort of that Rider-Waite-Smith more narrative style, which I am, I talk about it all the time, how I'm typically read with, you know, very scenic cards. So this is a departure for me, but I do love it. And it's the reason I backed it. I was kind of drawn to it right away and I was surprised because I'm usually not. But the guidebook does kind of talk about the symbol that's in each card. And I'm not going to do this for every card, but I just kind of want to give you an idea of the deck and how the guidebook is laid out. Because like I said, this deck is very different and is very minimalistic. So I'm going to take a look at the guidebook. Actually, I'm going to go grab my reading glasses first because I literally cannot read this. So give me one moment and I'm going to go run get those and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the readers and now I can check out the guidebook without squinting. Okay, so the Fool, the symbol, the white rose, it gives you, like I said, the planetary and the elemental associations for each. And then you get keywords and magic. So new beginnings, opportunities, take a chance, adventure, journey, fresh start, leap of faith, innocence, purity, carefree mentality. So lots of keywords. The white rose reminds us of purity and innocence. Used in magic for new beginnings, love, and peace, the white rose can benefit you on a new journey. And then here it gives you the message. So it says, the Fool brings a message for you to take a leap of faith while believing in yourself. Leave your concerns and worries behind you as you step forth into this new journey. Pure and innocent energies surround this card and invite you to embrace adventure and a carefree mentality. New opportunities await you. It is up to you to take that leap of faith. Utilize the power and magic of the white rose to help aim you in beginning this new journey. So a nice message, nice information, lots of keywords to choose from, which I think is great. And again, elementals, correspondences, planetary correspondences, and it does have a heavy lean towards magic and witchcraft. So if that's not something that, you know, you're interested in, I feel like you could still have this deck and use it, but it does lean heavily towards witchcraft and the craft. And so I believe a lot of the guidebook entries sort of always give that piece of like how the symbols and things are used in magic and magical practices. So that's just a little snippet from the guidebook, an example of, you know, what it will be like for each of the cards. So here we have the Witch. So instead of the Magician, again, very witchy deck. So we have the Witch as above, so below. So you can see they're very symbolic. I feel like you can definitely clearly get the meanings. There may be a few cards that, you know, we'll struggle with. But I feel like you can kind of clearly gain the meanings if you already have a general idea of the tarot card meanings to begin with. So here we have the High Priestess. Sort of love that moon kind of being in shadow. Reminds me of the veil that's usually representative of the High Priestess, sort of that hidden magic, that intuition. Here we have the Empress with that really full moon and the wheat and this beautiful emerald. So crystals do figure kind of heavily as well in the deck, which I kind of love. And the crescent moon is the symbol. Not the crescent moon, I'm sorry. The full moon is the symbol. You know, this very full moon, the emeralds, the wheat. So crystals are, you know, do kind of favor heavily in this deck as well, which I love because I love crystals. So that's great. But you can see it's very simplistic, but I do just love sort of this black background, this very dark matte, like inky black, then this sort of pop of symbol. I don't know, something about it I really like. Here we have the Emperor, so very Mars energy. You can see the planet there, and this ram's head, which is very symbolic of Aries, which is, as we know, is the planetary Mars and the zodiac, you know, correspondence. So you can definitely get that from the Emperor. And here we have Book of Shadows. So I kind of love that departure from where we would see the Hierophant in this position. We have Book of Shadows, you know, so definitely more witchy representation, but I love that exchange. The Lovers, so very traditional sort of symbols there. We have, whoops, I skipped one. The Chariot. I love this. So this is the image on the front of the box. So there's your broom and that full moon again. Very magical, very witchy. Has a very witchy energy, definitely. Strength. See the Lemnis Gate there? Infinity symbol. The Hermit. The lanterns. Very symbolic of the Hermit. So here we have cycles. So instead of the Wheel of Fortune, another sort of departure. But again, I like it. It works. The moon cycles, the phases of the moon, the turning of the wheel, you know, all kind of relate to the Wheel of Fortune. So I can definitely see that. And here we have Justice. And the guidebook does give a really kind of neat explanation about the hairpin and the blood oath and blood pact and things like that. So you do get a lot out of the guidebook. The Hanged One. Death, Rebirth. So I sort of love decks that use death and rebirth, you know, as either in the card, like themselves, like the Lightseers comes to mind. The Terra Volatile has a choice. You can have death or rebirth in the card. I love rebirth. I sort of love that. I love the death card for that. You know, embracing the death card can be difficult, but I like how it has that death/rebirth. So we see this sort of decaying skull and then this new growth. So that's good. I like that symbolism. Temperance. I love this. Love this card. Again, I love the use of crystals in this deck. I'm going to go on and on about it just because I love crystals. I use them quite often in my own practice. I pretty much have them all over my house. I love the energy they give off. I just really enjoy working with them. And I love this, you know, this being included. And I love how it's like different shapes. You know how crystals come in all different shapes. So here we see this lovely tower. And it's a tiger's eye, which is one of my favorite crystals. I have a lot of tiger's eye. It's one of my favorite crystals that I have. I have a big chunk of raw tiger's eye right here. It's so beautiful. So I love its inclusion in the deck, and I love it for the Temperance card. So yeah, so lots of associations. Even though it's very minimal artwork, there's lots of different connections that can be made. Okay, so now we have Temptations. So this, of course, has replaced the Devil card. So instead of the Devil, we have Temptations. So a little bit of a departure, but you know, not too far off. The Devil card is my birth card. So I've learned to embrace the Devil in all of its wonderful Capricorn glory and its very earthy elements. So yeah, so I love that in this, there's belladonna, which is a very dangerous and poisonous herb. So yeah, so I do love this card and I love the representation of it on here. And then we have the Tower. So here we have this really powerful lightning, and there's that tree. If you're familiar with practical magic at all, you'll know what that tree is and what it represents. But yeah, great card for the Tower. The star is really pretty. The moon. I love the moon. I love cats. I love, cats, very witchy, of course, associations. I love dogs. I love all animals, really. Nothing against dogs, but I love that they're using the black cats in this deck. Very witchy. The sun, this beautiful sunflower. Judgment. Love that there's a mirror there. It definitely is giving off scrying vibes, but I definitely like the mirror being used, definitely. The mortar and pestle. And I'm sure the guidebook talks about this herb that's being used as well. So lots of information in the guidebook. And then here we have the world, which is the 4 elements. Okay, so here we get into the minors. So this is where they're like a little bit more pippish. Still, minimal, which is pretty much the aesthetic and theme of this deck. So here we have, obviously, the Ace of Wands, or the Ace of Fire. And here we have the 2 of Wands. Still kind of getting that planning vibe. I still can see planning, sort of that as a keyword in here. Making plans. Here we have the 3 of Wands. I like that open window. Kind of great symbology. Here we have the 4. So, looks very celebratory. Very simple, but you can kind of get, like I said, the meaning from the cards. Here we have the 5s. Candles and Wands. 6. I love the witchiness of this deck. Here we have the 7. 7 of Wands, 7th being the candle in the hand. Here we have the 8 of Wands, which of course is those 8 brooms. So instead of wands, we have 8 brooms for that action, that very action-oriented card. If you guys are familiar with the movie, then you will be, you'll know, like I said, the movie or the books. I feel like the movie is probably a little bit more widespread, or well-known amongst people, who have seen the movie. But we all know sort of the 8 as being that, very action-oriented card. So I do love the fact that they're brooms. And I don't know if, like I said, this definitely reminds me of that scene where all of the women come over with their brooms and sort of sweep and sweep and sweep during like that ritual that they're doing together. So they're taking action. It's a very action oriented. This definitely makes me think of that scene, that fast movement, sort of that increased speed, that massive energy. They're sort of conjuring in that circle of women with the brooms. So that definitely reminds me of this card. Here's the 9. 10. So you can see how these are definitely pippish. They're like maybe a little bit of a step above pippish in some respect, but... And here we have the page. So the pages do include animals. I think all of them pages, all the core cards actually include animals in this deck. So here we have a fox, a great representation of fire, fiery energy. Here's the teacher, the queen. And then the sovereign is the king. So there's definitely animals on all of the court cards. Sorry about that. I don't really mind it. I kind of wish that there were humans, not just kind of being honest. I kind of wish that there were maybe some human figures on the court cards. But again, not a deal breaker. I don't mind it at all. I struggle with animal decks, and I could see, or maybe a mix of animals and humans, but that's okay. So here we have the Ace of Cups, or water. We have the 2. Love that. The 2 of Cups. Definitely get the symbology there. Here we have the 3. Again, simple, very pippish, but, gets the meaning across. I feel like this is going to challenge me to use more pip decks, which is good, which might be a good segue into starting to do that. We'll see. Maybe it'll kind of push me into that realm of pip decks and like Marseille and things like that. We'll see. Maybe this will be the gateway. Here we have the 6. Love this, sort of that little smaller hands, the big hands and the smaller hands. So you still get that feeling of nostalgia and childhood and inner child and things, like the 6 of Cups. Here we have the 7. 8. I sort of love this with the path, sort of the moon, not a full moon, not a completely dark moon. The 10, the rainbow, and here we have the page, the fish out of water, the jellyfish as the knight, and a flamingo, that's the queen, and here we have the king, which looks like some sort of crane. It looks like a crane maybe, yeah. Okay, and here we have the, this would be the Ace of Pentacles, or I guess the earth suit, I believe we're on now. Or is this might be, no, this might be the swords. Actually, this might be the sword suit. See how confusing this can be, like, until you get used to using this deck. And this is like, again, pip decks, not my thing. But this could be the swords. Let's see. Nope, this is the swords, right? Because of the symbol here with the line going across, right? It's the air element and makes the shape of an A. See, that's great. A for air. It's a great way to remember these symbols. Okay, so 2. Ooh, this is interesting. Look at this. The 3 of Swords with there's like 3 pins in this bird. Book of Shadows, the incense. Here we have the 4. 4 of Swords. Here's the 5. 6. So you can see the swords are really represented by these incense sticks. 7. So yeah, it's interesting the use of the incense for swords rather than like knives or you know what I mean, any kind of like an athame or like, you know, a knife, a witch's knife, a knife that they would use. It's interesting that it's the incense, but I can see how that would connect with sort of the air element, you know, sort of that smoke from the incense. So very grounded in the elements. Definitely. Here's the 10. So it's definitely grounded in the elements, this deck. And you can kind of see that association. So here we have a sword. So this would be the page. And the knight. So birds, obviously representing air. Again, sort of like birds in flight. You know, that fly through the air. So there's the representation in the core cards. Here's a butterfly, insects, again, a creature that flies. And then here's the king, an owl. I like that. I love owls, so. All right, so here we have the pentacles now. So here's the earth suit. I always get confused because I don't really use the elemental symbols all that much in any workings I do and things like that. I use the energy of elements. I don't really use the symbols. I don't draw them typically. So this one, I always got this one confused with because I always thought this symbol looked like a mountain. So I was like earth, like mountains. But this is the air symbol for air. And swords. So like I always got confused with that because I always thought that looked like a mountain. Like obviously that's a mountain, so that would be the earth suit. So earth is actually this way, sort of that flat earth, I guess, that top part being the earth. So here we have the ace, this little plant sprouting. Here's the 2, love that with the balance. The white rose and the red rose, very different symbology. The 3, I love this. Sort of putting salt and looks maybe lavender and rosemary into a bubbling cauldron. Very witchy. Okay, here's the 4. This cardstock is amazing. It's really matte. It's nice. 5. Here's the 6. Six of Pentacles, or Six of Earth, 7, the 8 of Pentacles. I love this with the drying herbs. And the witch's work table, the green witch's work table. I love that light, the light in that card. I love the way these colors sort of play off the black. Like I said, it's such an inky black background. And so the colors really pop. Like these reds, they really pop against that black. I love that, the 10. All right, and here we have, look at that ant carrying that gigantic pentacle or coin on his back. Perfect little representation of the page of Pentacles, I think, is an ant, a worker ant. And here we have the spider. There's the knight. Here's the teacher, the bear. I love bears. I love bears. So that's cool. And here we have that beautiful stag for king. So yeah, really, really beautiful deck, beautifully produced, just a wonderful Kickstarter. This is the Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot. I believe it's still it's available now on the creator's website. I will link everything below. It's really special. I don't have anything else like this in my collection. So I'm really thankful to have it. I'm really glad I backed it. I really back few Kickstarter campaigns. I don't back a lot of Kickstarters, partly because I'm trying not to buy so many decks, and it really has to speak to me for me to, not because I don't think art's beautiful and I don't think these tarot decks are gorgeous, but just because it really needs to speak to me for me to bring it into my collection now. So this one definitely, it was last year obviously that I backed it, but this one is really different, and I don't have anything, like it in my collection. So please, if you have this deck, please let me know. How do you like it? Have you used it? I haven't really used it that much, so let me know how you're using it. Have you worked through these spreads? They give you so many spreads, so there's so much to do with this deck. I feel like you could definitely use these spreads with other decks. You don't have to just use this one. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you like it, if you're thinking of getting it, I love to hear from all of you. And please, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I plan on making all sorts of different content this year. I have lots of big plans, lots of changes going on in my life, and it's exciting me and energizing me, and I can't wait to just move forward and have you all come along with me. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.